New year also means a new commitment to try to live just a little healthier for many of us. But what if we still want to enjoy the occasional libation, maybe frosty adult beverage, and still keep our liquid diet on the healthier side? Is it possible? Here with the answer now, Richard Harris from Wells Discount Liquors in Baltimore. Welcome, sir.
Welcome back.
Look, it's a new year, my friend. A lot of us thinking, let's be a little healthier. Are there some legitimate ways to drink a little healthier?
Oh, totally. I mean, it's all what you choose. You know, moderation is always a big thing, but I don't think people ought to realize that when it comes to low cal, hard liquor doesn't have a lot of calories in it. Your average shot of most of your clear liquor only has about 60 calories. No sugars, no carbs. So you're watching that stuff. It's right in the wheelhouse.
Even on the liquor front. And look, we got to talk about this too. Gluten-free.
Right.
A lot of people really trying to push and go gluten-free this year. You say even like rye-based liquors are
rye, vodka, anything. Sometimes you'll always see the gluten-free. If you go to the NIH website, there's actually done studies on this. The protein that causes problems with celiac, gliadin, can't make it into the distillate. So it's by nature gluten-free. There's always people who have super sensitivities to it that might react.
Stay with the clear liquor, but
the clear stuff is always usually the good way to go. But I think if you have a mild sensitivity to it, or you're just you're just trying to avoid it, I think you're okay.
The gluten protein, when you distill it out, it doesn't make it jump.
It cannot turn into vapor, so it just left it behind.
But with that in mind, we know that beer can have it, a lot of other canned and bottled beverages. Let's talk about some gluten-free options in the can and bottle as well. What do you have here?
Big skew for us now, it's really been on the up the past year, is alcoholic seltzer. Nice and clean and crisp. Over the summer, really good, fun stuff. If you can drink it straight, it's nice and on its own. But it's also
flavor in there.
Absolutely, you can get clear stuff, but you also get in this case lime or cranberry. You can get blood orange.
Some of the brands you carry at Wells, like White Claw, looks like.
Right, spiked seltzer, truly.
Spiked seltzer, it is what it says.
And they make good mixers too if you want to have that little start off.
All right, and then how about on the we got to come back to hard cider because that's another gluten-free option.
Absolutely, apples, no gluten there, so you're safe.
Gluten-free beers even.
Gluten-free beers is a trickier subject.
Okay.
You'll get certain things that are made with, avoid the wheat. They're usually things like sorghum or other grains like that don't contain the proteins that cause problems with celiac.
Red Bridge was kind of one of the early famous.
Yeah, that's one of the first ones.
Okay.
You get new ones like the Dura out of Spain or the Omission. They're good. In this case, they're kind of monkeying around with a bit. They're getting the parts per million of the proteins that cause problems. Below 20 parts per million. You can have sensitivities to that. I think if it's a light one, I mean, people who have celiac, they kind of know their boundaries. But it's
a very low gluten. If you're just sensitive, you probably can go for that. If
not,
I
mean, again, try it, go light, and see what happens. I mean, like I said, most people who have celiac kind of know where their boundaries are.
They know where they are. So different options for different levels of gluten. Okay, now, gluten's one thing. Calories, we talked about that. Let's get into medicinal properties. Some liquors, all right, kind of have that legend about them. Talk about the two you have here.
It is cold and flu season, so there's always a thing. Starve a fever, drowned it with alcohol. But Krupnik is an old Eastern European. Most of it's done in Poland. Honey liqueur, not unlike if you ever had Drambuie, has some certain herbs in it depending on the recipe. Another local one, this is actually out of Philadelphia, called Rock and Rye. Came back early part of the last century. They used to take cheap rye, sweeten it up, and usually add fruit. In this case, really nice. They use nice orange peel, orange juice to it. I'll be the first person to admit, if I'm not feeling well, a shot into this and some Earl Grey tea does it for me.
Yeah.
Does it actually cure anything?
But you might feel a little bit better. And I know this is a honey-based, right? The Krupnik, the supposed cold fighter there potentially. Okay, so we have to cover one last healthier drinks idea, and that would be your red wines, right? The Resveratrol, everything else. Talk about that.
Right. With red wine, there's been studies. There is a certain correlation between lowering coronary artery disease. The French paradox is a study that's been going on for over 25 years. Normandy, Brittany in France, high calorie diet, a lot of cream, a lot of butter. Some of the lowest coronary artery disease in the world. Big part of that, they drink a lot of wine.
They drink a lot of wine, a lot of red wine.
They also work really hard, and it's an outdoors lifestyle. So don't discount that.
A combination. Well, can you give us a pour? Let's take a look at.
And of course, the healthier benefits are all red wine. The stuff, the things that are good for you, the antioxidants, are all in the skins. You get that with red wine. It doesn't have to be super, super dark, but it does get that color.
Look at that coloration. Very nice. We also want to mention, Wells Discount Liquors, you guys are in your 80th year. That's incredible. And new hours now. Tell us your current hours there at Wells.
We used to be open till 10 every night, except for Sundays, obviously, we're closed. Now, Monday through Thursday, we close at 9.
Oh, make sure we get a good shot of that there. There it is. just loaded with resveratrol, and again, another way to drink a little healthier, we'll say,
absolutely.
in 2018. Well, Richard, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Check them out. Their 80th year, incredible selection, Wells Discount Liquors, right off York Road in Baltimore. We'll see you back here with more Midday Maryland.